NetsBoy, so let's hear what he has to say. His name is NetsBoy, he thinks the world is all over when the Nets just can't play. What up, Net fans? NetsBoy here, bringing you latest in your Brooklyn Nets news. First things first, the Nets hat is back. I found it. It was exactly where I thought it was, 50 miles away, and now I have it, and now I am back in the full NetsBoy apparel and attire. If anybody even remembered that my last episode, I didn't have my hat and I lost it and I thought about it. Or if people didn't really care, because let's be honest, who really cares that much about a hat? But nonetheless, back on and full NetsBoy. So anyway, there we go. So a lot to go over in this episode. It's been about a week since my last NetsBoy episode, in which I talked about some trades I thought maybe the Nets might do or should do, or so on and so forth. In this episode, we're going to revisit the trade deadline. Not a lot to talk about there, but we'll go over some things there. Then we're going to talk about the All-Star festivities and, Joe Harris and all that good stuff. And then we're going to take a look at the next couple games moving forward in the last second. I don't want to say second half of the season because it's really not. It's 23 games. It's more like it's closer to a third of the season left. Almost, actually, closer to a quarter almost, if you think about it. It's weird how after the All-Star break is supposed to be the halfway point, but really it's more like the three-quarter point. It's like a quarter. Like 23 games left of the regular season. Like how is that half? You play 82 games. How is 23 half of 82? I mean, I'm not a math major or anything, but last time I checked, that's not half. Why do we call it half? Anyway, that's not really important. So let's dive right in. A lot to go over. Let's talk about the trade deadline. The Nets did exactly what I thought they would do, and that was nothing. And I said that was my number one thing. I said I think the Nets would do at the trade deadline was really nothing. They did do a really small trade that kind of went under the radar at the end. They basically paid for Greg Monroe and a second-round draft pick from the Raptors, ended up waiving Monroe, and just kept the second-round pick. They gave up nothing. They just gave up, cash for him. It was just a definition of a salary dump in a way for the Raptors to get under the luxury tax some more, especially since they acquired, Marc Gasol and so on and so forth. So they just wanted to get rid of Greg Monroe. This is a move that it's just the Nets getting another second-round pick. I think it's a 2021 second-round draft pick. I have to double-check that. But it's a second-round draft pick. Sean Marks loves grabbing those picks, first, second rounds, whatever he can get. So, it is what it is. Personally, though, I look at it and I say to myself, did we really have to waive Greg Monroe, though? And I know that Sean Marks loves flexibility, but personally, I think Greg Monroe really could have helped the Nets. And, ever since they waived Kenneth Faried, I've been very nervous about this Nets, 5 spot, that front court, that center. I know there's not really a traditional center anymore, but outside of Jared Allen and Ed Davis, who else plays the 5 on the Nets? Rondé Hollis-Jefferson? Is he the third string backup center if Ed Davis or Jared Allen were to get hurt? Is it going to be Mitch Creek? Who they signed, they actually waived him, but they're probably going to sign him again. I think they might have actually signed him again for the rest of the season. I don't know. Maybe that's what they did the roster spot. I don't know. I have to double check into that. It's going to be Mitch Creek? Is it going to be Rondé Hollis-Jefferson? Because as of right now, God forbid, Ed Davis or Jared Allen get hurt. Who's going to be that backup big? And that's what Kenneth Faried was, and that was what, Kenny Atkinson was telling him was if one of these guys get hurt, you'll be in the rotation. Faried didn't like that, and that was that whole debacle when they waived Faried. But in my personal opinion, Greg Monroe would have filled that void as well. Saying, hey, listen, we have no expectations of playing you unless someone gets hurt. As long as you say that, then that's what it should be, and that's what it should be. And that's who he could have been. He could have been that, because Greg Monroe is still a very quality big. He's not going to be able to be as good as he was way back, the way that, he used to be like a 16-10 type of player. He's not that type of player anymore, and it's no knock on his skill set. It's just that that's not what the NBA is. But he could very easily be a quality, get you about 10 points and 7 rebounds off the bench if an injury would have happened to Ed Davis or Jared Allen. But you know what? It wasn't about the trade. Had nothing to do with him. It had to do with getting the draft pick, so the Nets waive him. I'm still very, very nervous about what could happen if there's an injury to one of those two guys with this Nets team because I do not like Rondae Hollis-Jefferson as the 5. Though we've seen the Nets do it, and I guarantee, and as of right now, that would be probably what Kenny Atkinson would have to do. But anyway, so that was the only move the Nets made. There was apparently some rumors about an Allen Crabbe trade to the Grizzlies for, I think, JaMychal Green and Garrett Temple and so on and so forth, and a draft pick or something. I think the Nuggets pick going to the Grizzlies. But at the end of the day, Sean Marks was like, you know what? This Nets team has exceeded expectations. Morale is high. Let's just keep it as is. LeVert is back. Let's keep the core back. Let's get him going, and let's see what happens when Dinwiddie comes back towards the beginning of March, and let's make a push for the playoffs, and let's see, and let's build from here. So that is what Sean Marks did, and that's what happened at the trade deadline. So that was the trade deadline. All-Star festivities. Well, let's dive right into this. Let's start with the Rising Stars Challenge. Karooks looked like a freaking nightmare. He lost the ball a million times. He was just trying to impress. Like, he was Karooks. You know, Rhodey was Rhodey. You know, he got the ball. He tried to push it. He turned the ball over a lot. I think he had 6 points. I think he made two. No, he had 8 points. He made 2 threes and he might have had 11. No, I know he made 2 threes. I know he had a dunk and he might have had a layup too. I don't know. Karooks played, you know, exactly the way Karooks plays. Karooks giveth and Karooks taketh away. That's the way he played in the Rising Star Challenge. Jared Allen, Jared Allen didn't really do much, but he did have 2 blocks, maybe 3. I don't know if there was kind of like a loose block, but he had 2 blocks, including 2 really nice blocks. And the best one had to be against Ben Simmons, who was trying to take over and be like, "Here, I'm the reigning Rookie of the Year, despite this is now my 3rd year." Hold on a sec. Like, that's another thing that's ridiculous. How is Ben Simmons allowed to be in the Rising Stars game? This is his 3rd year in the league. Just like he shouldn't have been the Rookie of the Year last year. It was his 2nd year in the league. Oh, he didn't play. He was hurt. I don't care. He was drafted 3 years ago. You know, he shouldn't have even been in that game. I'm so glad Jared Allen blocked him. But Jared Allen blocked him. Jared Allen only had 2 points on free throws. He tried to go coast to coast, bring up the ball, which is always something that bigs like to do in these type of games, and Ben Simmons stole from him. Screw that Ben Simmons. I don't like him. But anyway, it was entertaining. There was nothing special. It was nice, though, to see 2 Nets out there. And like I said, Karooks did what he always does. And Allen, I was just glad that Allen had a couple blocks and had a great block against Ben Simmons, because that's what I love to see from Jared Allen. And that's who he is. So that was the Rising Stars Challenge. I'm now going to go to the All-Star game because I'm going to save the best for last. I'm skipping the 3-shooting contest intentionally for the end because that was the best. The All-Star game was very entertaining. D'Angelo Russell, I was pleased that he played. He had 6 points. He made 2 threes. Tried to be a little flashy. Turned the ball over here and there. Airballed a couple deep threes. It is what it is. It was entertaining. I was glad he was out there. I did notice. Did anyone else notice that all of the threes that Dirk made, except for one, 2 of his 3 threes was from D'Angelo Russell hitting him? Like, D'Angelo Russell had the assist. Like, I was like, D'Angelo Russell's getting Dirk going by giving him the ball. Like, that was pretty neat. I love Dirk hitting those threes. But it was just entertaining, and I was just relieved and glad that D'Angelo Russell played. Last time the Nets had an all-star, they had Joe Johnson, but before Joe Johnson, they had Brook Lopez. When he was an all-star, Brook Lopez barely played, and he was the same thing as D'Angelo Russell. He didn't make the all-star team originally and was an add-on because of injury. The commissioner added him on because of an injury, and Brook Lopez played like 4 minutes in that game at the end of the second half, had 2 points on free throws and took like 2 shots, and that was it. And I was like, wow. That's upsetting. And I was afraid that's what was going to happen to D'Angelo Russell. I thought because he was the add-on that he wasn't going to get a lot of playing time. But I think he got like 12 minutes or something like that. 12, 14 minutes. So I was pleased. He scored. Entertaining game. I was really disappointed that Team Giannis did not win. Obviously, Team LeBron was the better team. But I was pumped when Giannis' team was winning. And I thought they were going to pull it off. And then all of a sudden, Kevin Durant and Kawhi Leonard and not Paul George. Paul George was on the Team Giannis, right? Wasn't he? Yeah, I think he was. I don't even remember now. But I know that and Damian Lillard, they all started getting going on Team LeBron, and it ended up being what it was. I don't remember what Paul George. I don't remember. Who cares? Either way, Team LeBron won, but it was entertaining. The slam dunk contest, there was no nets in it. The only thing that was neat was, the jumping over Shaq dunk by Hidalgo. Hidalgo. I can't say his name, but that was great because the elbow dunk. Vince Carter. I'm gonna love that. Because Vince Carter's my favorite player. So that was great. Everything else about the dunk contest sucked. I'm not gonna go too much into that because we want to talk about the real exciting news. The real exciting news of the All-Star festivities, and that is that Joe Harris. Woohoo! Joe Harris winning the 3-shooting contest. That was awesome. I was ecstatic when Joe Harris put up 25 points in the first round. And I said, you know what? Even if he somehow doesn't make it to the next round or the finals, he put up a good showing. He represented Brooklyn. But sure enough, he made it to the finals, beating defending champions like, Devin Booker, who won last year, and so on and so forth. And, Danny Green scared me for some reason. I don't know why. I kind of thought that he was going to get in a rhythm and somehow do well. But Joe Harris made it to the finals and against Buddy Hield and Stephen Curry. And Joe Harris said, "Hey, Buddy, you're irrelevant." And not that Buddy Hield is irrelevant, but he ended up kind of being irrelevant. It really was more like Steph Curry versus Joe Harris. And Joe Harris said to Steph Curry, "I don't care if you're considered to be the greatest shooter ever. I don't care if you're on the Warriors. I don't care if you're a superstar. I'm Joe Harris. No one knows who the hell I am outside of Brooklyn. And I'm going to kick your ass." And that is what he did. He looked at Stephen Curry in the eye and he said, "Let's go." And sure enough, he prevailed and he beat Steph Curry in the finals and Buddy Hield, but still, and put up 26 points, holding off Steph Curry and winning the 3-shooting contest, representation the Brooklyn Nets. And that was awesome. And I remember watching every 3, I'm getting pumped. I'm like, let's go. And when Curry was shooting, I'm like, oh, he doesn't have it. And when Curry missed that one shot in the second to last basket, and I knew mathematically he could not win, my hands went in the air. And I said, that's the way it goes. So ecstatic about that, ecstatic about the Nets. And you know what's awesome? The Nets were really represented well in the All-Star festivities. Spencer Dinwiddie was a guest commentator in the Skills Challenge, which was also awesome because everything Spencer said happened. He talked about the shot. He said it's all about that last shot. And sure enough, that's what it came down to. And of course, Tatum hit that half-court shot to win. That was very entertaining. But Dinwiddie was there commentating, challenges Tatum for next year. Awesome. I hope that happens. The Nets represented with Kurucs and Allen in the Rising Stars Challenge. Joe Harris won the 3-shooting contest. D'Angelo Russell was in the All-Star game. All they needed was someone in the dunk contest to have a net representation and everything. Didn't happen, but who knows? Maybe next year. I don't know who will be in the slam dunk contest on the Nets right now because there's no one that really stands out, but who knows? But that was the All-Star festivities, highlighted by Joe Harris's great win in the 3-shooting contest and just an overall enjoyment to watch. I really enjoyed the All-Star festivities, really for the first time in years, because come the All-Star break, I'd always watch everything, but I was never really that engaged or interested in it. But now I am, because the Nets are involved with it, and we're a featured team in the All-Star festivities. And as a Nets fan, it makes me feel so good. So there you have it. All right. So All-Star festivities, exciting. Now, let's talk the next 23 games, or the next games coming up here for the Nets. The Nets are 30-29, currently in the 6th seed, 2 games up against the Hornets. And I think 4 games up all over the 9 seed Pistons, who knows if they're going to make the playoffs, if the Pistons can go on a run or whatever. But I really do believe the Nets should be the 6th seed. I feel between all the teams that they're chasing, that are chasing them, the Pistons, the Heat, the Hornets, I think the Nets are better than those teams. And they have to continue to play the way they've been playing. They hit a little bit of a rough patch. They're trying to refigure it out with Karis LeVert back. But I really believe they're going to get on a decent roll here. But here's the problem. The Nets have a very hard schedule moving forward. These next 23 games are not going to be easy. But I really do believe that a 500 record, 41-41, will get them in, not only in the playoffs, but possibly the 6th seed. It definitely will get them in the playoffs. It could get them the 6th seed. So at this point, if they can go and finish 500 or better, they're in. So let's look at the next couple games moving forward, and I'll be pleased. I said I really would like them to try to win 45 games. That is, in my opinion, a possibility. That means they'll have to go 14-9. No, excuse me. 15-9. 15-9. 15-8. Math. Wait. There's 23 games left. There's 30 wins. 15-8. God, it's. I'm not a math major, guys. Relax. 15-8. If I'm wrong, you can go ahead and correct me in a comment below. The next 23 games to finish with 45 wins. That would be really awesome. Will they really finish 15-8? I don't think so. At this point, as long as they finish over 500, I'm going to be happy. If they get to 45 wins, I'm going to be ecstatic. Don't think it's going to happen, but like I said, finishing 500 or over 500, to me, these last 23 games should be the key. I think, going, 11-12 and finishing 500 will be tolerable. If they go 12-11 and finish 2 games over 500, that'd be great as well. But that's what they got to do if they want to be in that 6th seed. So let's look at the next couple games moving forward. They have Thursday night. They have a tough game against the Trailblazers. However, it's a home game. So who knows? Then they got the Hornets in Charlotte. They have to win that game. It's a big game. Charlotte's going to be coming for them. It's going to be a tough game, but they've got to win that one. Then they have a home game against the Spurs. They played the Spurs tight last time they played them, but I still think that's going to be a tough game, but it's home as well. But then they got a home game against the Wizards and a home game against the Hornets again. Those two have to be wins. You have to beat Washington at home, and you have to beat Charlotte at home. And then you got a big game against Miami on the road as well. So big games coming up. But the games that the Nets have, so the next 5 games, the Nets need to win 3. They have to. They have to win 3 of the next 5 games. They have to definitely beat the home game against the Hornets and the home game against the Wizards. The other 2 home games against the Spurs and the Trailblazers is going to be tough, and that road game against the Hornets is going to be tough. But they've got to win the Wizards and Hornets game, and they got to steal or win one of the other next 3 games, the next 5 games. If the Nets do that, they'll be in good shape. So there you have it. I'm going to end with that. We're going on, 18-ish minutes now. So let's wrap this up. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you guys think about the Nets at the trade deadline. If you thought they should have done something else, what do you thought about the All-Star festivities and Joe Harris winning, and what your expectations are moving forward, and if you think this Nets team will solidify themselves into the 6th seed, because that's what I believe and that's what I want. Or are they going to be battling it out the rest of the way and hit a slide? We'll see what happens. And until the next time, this is NetsBoy. Pumped up for the second half of the season, more like a third, and signing off.